Have you ever noticed how some people seem untouchable by the chaos around them, while everyone else is spiraling over deadlines, drama, or uncertainty? They move through life with this quiet confidence that nothing can shake. What if I told you that the difference isn't luck, genetics, or some special training? It's something much simpler than you think. You've probably felt glimpses of this yourself. Those rare moments when everything just flows. When problems that usually stress you out suddenly feel manageable. Like you're watching life from a different vantage point. What I'm about to share will show you how to live from that place permanently. In the next few minutes, you'll discover exactly why most people live in a constant state of mental noise, and the one shift that turns down the volume on everything that usually bothers you. This isn't about positive thinking or ignoring problems. It's about fundamentally changing where your attention lives. Because when you finally understand this, nothing hits you the same way again. Here's what most people don't realize. The things that bother you aren't actually bothering you. Your thoughts about those things are bothering you. And those thoughts, they're almost never happening in this moment. Think about the last time you were really stressed. I guarantee you weren't stressed about what was happening right then. You were stressed about what might happen later, or what someone said yesterday, or how this situation could go wrong. Your mind was everywhere except where your body was. This is the invisible prison most people live in without realizing it. They're physically in Tuesday at 2 p.m., but mentally, they're scattered across next month's problems and last week's regrets. They're trying to solve 10 different scenarios that don't even exist yet, while missing the only moment where they actually have any power. But here's what changes everything. The present moment is the only place where problems can actually be solved. It's also the only place where peace exists. Not the peace that comes after you fix everything. The peace that's available right now, regardless of what needs fixing. When you really get this, when you start living from this understanding, something remarkable happens. The volume on everything else turns way down. If you're still here, you're already different from most people. Most people hear this and think it sounds too simple to be true. But you're recognizing something deeper. That simplicity is exactly what you've been missing. What I'm about to share next will show you exactly how to make this shift real in your daily life. This is where theory becomes transformation. If this is resonating with you, please subscribe. Here's the thing about living in the present. It's not a practice you add to your day. It's a recognition of where you actually are already. Right now, as you're listening to this, you're not in tomorrow's meeting or yesterday's argument. You're here. The only reason you feel anywhere else is because your attention is somewhere else. Most people think presence is about forcing their mind to stop wandering. But that's like trying to hold water in your hands. The harder you grip, the more it slips away. Real presence is more like becoming curious about where you actually are right now, instead of fighting where your mind wants to go. When you're truly present, problems don't disappear. They just stop feeling urgent in that panicked way. You see them clearly, without the emotional charge. It's like looking at a storm from inside a house instead of standing in the rain. The storm is still there, but it can't touch you in the same way. And here's what's beautiful. When you're not emotionally hijacked by a problem, you naturally see solutions that were invisible before. Clarity isn't something you have to create. It's what remains when you stop creating confusion. Right now, take a moment and notice something. Notice that you're breathing. Not the idea of breathing, but the actual sensation of air moving in and out. Notice that you're sitting or standing somewhere. Feel the temperature of the air on your skin. What you just did was come home to this moment. And in this moment, what problem are you actually facing? Not the ones you were thinking about 5 minutes ago. What actual problem exists right here, right now? Most of the time, the answer is none. This is why people who live in the present seem so unshakable. They're not dealing with imaginary problems. They're only working with what's actually in front of them. And what's actually in front of you is always manageable. Always. Your mind creates suffering by collecting every possible thing that could go wrong and treating them all as current emergencies. But in reality, you can only solve one thing at a time, and you can only solve it now. Everything else is just noise. When you stop trying to solve problems that don't exist yet, or reliving problems that are already over, you discover something incredible. This moment contains everything you need to handle this moment. You don't need to figure out next week's challenges with today's information. You don't need to carry yesterday's disappointments into today's possibilities. The people who seem naturally calm aren't managing stress better. They're not creating unnecessary stress in the first place. They've learned to distinguish between what's real and what's just mental commentary. And mental commentary, no matter how loud or convincing, can't actually hurt you. What can hurt you is believing it all, taking it all seriously, trying to solve it all at once. So how do you actually live this way? It's simpler than you think, but it requires practice. Throughout your day, start asking yourself one question. What is actually happening right now? Not what might happen, not what should be happening, not what you wish was happening. What is actually happening right now? When you catch your mind spinning stories about the future or the past, don't fight it. Just notice, oh, I'm not here right now. Then, gently bring your attention back to what's real. The feeling of your feet on the ground, the sound of your own breathing, the simple fact that you're alive in this moment. When something bothers you, pause and ask, is this problem happening right now? Or is this problem happening in my head? If it's happening in your head, you can choose to stop participating in that conversation. If it's happening right now, you can deal with it from a clear, present state of mind. This isn't about never planning for the future or learning from the past. It's about not living there. It's about making those visits brief and purposeful, then coming back home to where your life is actually happening. If this resonates with you, you're ready for a deeper understanding of how your mind creates your experience of reality. If you found value in this, subscribe to join others who are choosing clarity over chaos. Drop a comment below and share the moment you realized you could choose peace over panic. And if this helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear this message today.